This will be a walkthrough of Imogen, a rigged female dancer for Blender and Unity. These are the two zip files that come with your purchase. Inside the Imogen zip file, there are two folders. There's a Blender and an Extras folder. Inside the Blenders folder, there are your two main Blender files. There's a file with no GUI and a file with a GUI. There's also a FAQ to help you out with some tips for your purchase. And inside the AutoRig Pro plugins folder, and inside these Install These Add-ons folder, these are free plugins to use all the features of the AutoRig Pro rig. It'll work for the most part without them, but if you want to use all of the features for Imogen, make sure you install these too. Inside the Imogen Extras folder, there's a folder with all of the textures used to make Imogen. So if you need any of those, they're there. There's also an OBJ file, and there's an STL file with Imogen with each of her outfits. Inside the Imogen Unity zip file, there is your main Imogen Unity package. You can use that to bring her into your Unity. There's also the Blender file and the FBX file I used to create Imogen for Unity. So if you want to mess with things, you've got those there too. Here's how to install the free plugins for AutoRig Pro. So go to Edit and Preferences and Add-ons, and then click Install. Inside the Blender folder, you'll find the AutoRig Pro plugins folder and the Install These Add-ons folder, and then click on Rig Tools, Install, and enable that. Click Install again, install the Proxy Picker, install, and enable that. And then you're ready to go. Inside this PDF, you'll have a guide on how to use the Imogen rig for Blender, and you'll also have some information on how to use Imogen in Unity. It's basically the same information that will be covered in this video. Okay, let's load her up and see what we've got. So this is what you'll see once you open the file up. Let's make sure the plugin's installed okay. So if you grab your rig here, go to pose mode, hit the N key, and say grab like the hand here, and go to tools. If you see all of these little extra tools here, that means that the plugin installed correctly. Here's how to change your outfits. So if you go to the outliner inside the Imogen clothing collection, you can see she has 3 outfits, and you can toggle them with these check marks. So you can turn on her dress, or you can turn on her sleepwear, or go back to her main outfit. And then within each outfit, you can also switch on and off different parts. So if I don't like the choker, you can turn that off, or you don't like the leggings, you can turn that off. So you can kind of customize it however you want. Most of the colors are also adjustable. So if you go to your shading workspace here and say grab the hair like that, let's zoom in a bit, you'll see things are kind of organized. So if you see a box here, a group, it'll tell you what options there are. So these are the hair colors, and it'll be different for, say if you grab the shirt, you'll see it's colors, and there are different colors there. And so most of these things, you'll see one texture attached to a node. You can attach one of the other textures right next to it and experiment to see which ones you like. There's kind of a blonde here. You can try another one here, see what it looks like. It's kind of a pink hair. There's also adjustment nodes. So if you see a mix node like that, that usually means you can adjust the colors. So you can, in this case, make the hair darker or lighter. So definitely go through each of your objects and check it out and see what they've got. Oops, let's put her back. Sometimes the links from the CAD to the textures gets broken and your whole model will look all pink. So to reconnect them, go to File, External Data, Find Missing Files, and navigate to where your textures are saved. In this case, you could always use the backup textures and then click Find Missing Files. I'm not going to do it now because it's working, but if you click that, it'll reconnect all of your textures and it'll be fine. This model has an HDR environment, so you can see it. You can kind of see it's got some colors, and that's how you get your basic lighting and shading for your character. But you can change the orientation. So if you go to, in your shading workspace, if you go to Object and World, you can see here, this rotation controls the rotation of your whole scene. So you can adjust it by moving this around, and that changes the lighting on your actual character, so you can get the perfect lighting. The dress moves with a cloth simulation and a collision object on the legs. So if you hit play and grab the foot and move it around, you can see the dress moves to match the legs. It's set pretty low. The resolution for the simulation is set pretty low by default. This way it's fast and easy to work with while you're creating your animation. But when it comes time to render, you want to increase the resolution. So grab your dress, go to the physics panel, and increase the quality and the collision settings higher. And also the catch, this number needs to match the start and the end of your animation. So let's play it and see how it looks here now. So you can see the dress now, it's much smoother. And the physics should also, the collisions should also be better. However, it's just very slow to work with in the viewport. But it's really fun to play around with. Okay, let's talk about the rig. Okay, so we'll grab the rig and go to pose mode. It turns colored so you know it's working. So over here we have our Gui Picker, and you can use this to more easily just pick parts of your character. So it might be hard to pick, say, the lips or all the lips in the CAD view. But what you can do is just go over here and just shift drag, and you can grab all the mouth bones very easily. So that's kind of a nice little feature to have. Let's talk about some of the rig layers here. So if you grab your mesh, go to pose mode, and then go to Object Data Properties, and scroll to the layer panel. This is where all your layers are. This first one's your main layer. This is all the main controls for your body. The second one here is for the detailed controls. You can do things like move or bend limbs strangely. These next three here, this has the detail control for the hair. So you can see all these little bones here. You can bend the hair in very detailed ways, like that. There's also a main hair control with this yellow sphere, so you can move all the hair at once. So this is a little bit easier, but it's not as detailed. This main hair control sphere is on the two main layers and all the hair layers. The detailed hair control is only on these three hair layers, and it's kind of organized. So the first one has the front and back, like the middle hairs. This next one has the hair on the left side, and this one here has the hair on the right side. So it's got detailed control and simple control, so whatever you need. And then this layer over here, if you're doing any kind of weight painting or adding new clothes or changing the hairstyle, this is the layer you would turn on when you're doing your weight painting. Okay, let's put everything back here. So grab those two layers, A, Alt, G, R, S. Okay. So this rig also has a pose library. So if you scroll down a bit, you'll see this pose library area. And so what that does, it allows, it's pre-saved poses for the face. So you can make her smile using these pre-saved smile poses. So if you click here and click that, she smiles. You can click here and she'll smile with her mouth open or close her mouth. We've got eye controls, so you can make her look surprised. So there are different little features, different little poses that you can use. There's also visemes, so you can do facial expressions like the F for the like ooh shape. So those are useful too. It's important to note that this pose library controls the bones. Let's put this back. Alt-GRS. And so that's useful for Blender. If you're exporting this mesh to another engine like Unity or something, it doesn't usually use bones, it uses shape keys. And so this rig also has shape keys. So if you click the body here, and then you go to the object data properties, then go to the shape keys, it has a bunch of shape keys here. So these shape keys are the same ones that we had for the pose library. So if you grab the mouth here, make sure it's turned on there, and scroll this, you can make her smile just like the bones did. I do want to point out that the shape keys are set on two objects. There's the body here, and there is the lashes and brows. So let's hide her hair. So if you wanted to make her smile, make her eyes closed, you would grab her skin here, her body, and make her eyes closed, happy. But you'll see the eyelashes don't move because you have to also do the shape key for the eyelashes. So you really wouldn't do this in Blender. You'd use the bone pose library. This is for if you're exporting to other programs. So if you do want to go to another program, you would make sure you're on basis for the body and for the eyelashes, and then grab your lashes, shift click your body, and Control J to join it. You'll put this all into one object. And now when you move the eyelashes, the eyes closed, you'll see that it all goes together. But you want to leave them separate because inside Blender, if the eyelashes and the body are joined like that, and you're using cycles to render, it'll look funny. That's why they're separate. But if you're going to export this, you want to join those. There's something I wanted to point out about weight painting. So if you want to add your own clothing to this rig, you can do that. You can grab, say if this shirt's new, you can grab your shirt, then shift click the rig, Control P to parent it, and go to empty weights, empty groups, and click that one here. I'm not going to do it because this already works, but you would click empty groups, and that would add all of these vertex groups here. Here we go up here. So these are all the vertex groups assigned to these bones. That's how this shirt knows how to follow these bones. Usually it works okay, but sometimes the hair bones messes things up, and so you want to delete those. So you grab the shirt that you just joined and look for anything that says spline. And when you're rigging, if it's acting funny and you notice that the hair bone is pulling your clothing, go to these splines and delete them with this minus key, and then take all those out, and it should help a lot. Don't delete things that say spine. So, okay, spine. You want to keep things that say spine. Keep those, but the things that say spline, delete those. And then it should make your weight painting easier. So those are the Blender tips, but there are also a few tips for Unity. So let's go and look at that. Imogen uses the universal rendering pipeline from Unity. So you need to create a project that uses that to be able to see her materials and textures. So let's create a new project. Choose URP, and then name your project whatever you want to, and click Create Project. And it'll take a while for Unity to create the new project. Okay, once your project is created, go to Assets, Import Package, and then Custom Package, and then click on Navigate to where your Imogen Unity package is, and click Open. Then it'll take a while to process. Okay, once it's loaded up, click All, click Import. If this window pops up here, just click Reload, and your character is loaded. You can click your character and hit F to zoom in a bit. But yeah, so that's the character and she's all loaded in. You can toggle the different bits of clothing here. So you can, just like you could in the Blender file, works differently though. So say if you want to turn off the sweatshirt, you'd click it here, click the I to hide it, but you also have to disable it here. And so you go through all the different pieces that you want to hide and do the same thing. Hide that there, hide that there. Let's hide this dress top here. And you can also customize the colors. Let's hide the dress bottom part here. So back to customizing the colors, you can grab that here and then go down to the material and then click on the albedo here, the base map. And then it's kind of it shows you all the textures here, but just if you can search for, this is the bodysuit we're changing, so BODY. So it shows you all the colors for the bodysuit. You can pick one and close that, and she's got a reddish bodysuit. So you can do that for all the parts of this mesh. You can also find the shape keys. So if you click the body part here and go to blend shapes, you can open that here, and then you can see it has all the same expressions that the Blender had. And this one is the eyebrows and eyelashes and the body are all connected already, so that way you don't need to merge them yourself. I did that for you. That's it for our walkthrough. I hope that answers any questions you may have had, and I hope you have fun creating with Imogen.